I will be doing a quick tank review for the Czech Tier 5 medium tank, the Skoda T24. This tank for its tier, it is just average. It is not that great nor good, but as long as you play toward the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses, you can do quite well. Remember, when you are playing in a fast firing medium like this, remember, mobility and cover, it is your friend if you want to survive long enough to do quite well in this tank. So what is good about this tank exactly? It have a decent camouflage value, have some pretty good potential spotting view range. If you have the proper equipment for it, it's quite mobile, and you have a good gun to use. Let's get into the vehicle stats now. Let's begin off with the firepower. The 75mm gun. What is good about it exactly? You have pretty good penetration value for regular AP and APCR. Regular AP can penetrate most of the targets easily enough. APCR can penetrate most of the heavily armored Tier 5 to Tier 7 vehicles easily enough, as long as you know where to aim the round at. With the proper equipment setup, you can have a pretty good aiming time and accuracy as well with the rate of fire. Besides that, the rate of fire and the damage output for this gun, it is not that great. With the equipment setup I have here, you can have about 14 rounds per a minute. That is pretty good. 14 rounds, that is not that great when you compare 14 to the others at this tier. Load time, it is pretty good, so you can fire on the move if you have to and fire another round in a hurry. The turret traverse, it is pretty good at 43, so you can turn around the machine in a hurry if you have to. When it comes to turret traverse, gun depression downward, it is good. -10, so you can hill fight with this if you have to. Gun elevation upward, it is good at 20. As I said before, aiming time, with a good crew and the proper equipment setup, you can have it about down to 2 seconds. With 110 damage per a shot on average, you are not going to be doing a lot of damage in a minute, unless if you can fire the 14 rounds into a enemy tank or a group of them in a minute. Survivability, it is completely rubbish. This vehicle have a lot of weak spots, besides for the paper thin armor it have. The weak spots you should be made aware of is the lower plate, the vision, and the hatches to the right side, right front, left center, left side here, the machine gun nest, the capla, the engine, it's a easy target to hit, and then the hatch here. If a well-placed HE round or AP round go in here, the crew members and the modules can be damaged easily enough. With the thin armor, the crew members and the modules, they can be damaged easily enough. Whenever you are top tier, you can actually angle the 50mm of armor well enough to ricochet a few rounds. Besides that, everything can penetrate you easily enough. Armor in the front, it is 50 for the hull and turret. Side and rear, it is 30. So expect everything to penetrate you. Mobility, it is quite good, for weighing about 20 tons. With the 450 horsepower engine, your horsepower to ton ratio, it is about 23. So you can easily reach the top speed of 58 kilometers easily enough on flat terrain, going in a straight line or going downhill easily enough. The reverse speed it is good at 18. The whole traverse is good at 43. So with the good traverse speed of 43 for the hull and for the turret, you can turn around both of them in a hurry if you have to. The concealment rating, it is pretty good. 15 when it is staying still, so you can be a bit of a passive scout if you have to. If you have the proper equipment setup and perks, you can be quite the decent a passive scout and a sniper for a medium tank at this tier. On the move, it is 11. As I said, the spotting mechanics, it is pretty good. 360 for the base, so you can increase this even more using coded optics or binocular telescope. The radio, it is pretty good at 760 meters. Now, let's cover the research part of the tank, which it doesn't take you that long to go through the Skoda T24 to get to the T25 tank. Let's cover the research part of the tank now. The research for the tank, it doesn't take you that long for you to go through this tank to get to the T25. The only pieces of equipment that is transferable to the next tank over is the top radio, the top engine, and the top gun. Besides that, everything else here, it is not transferable at all. So let's begin off with the tracks. If you are going to be mounting all of the equipment onto the tank here, you will have to get the top pair of tracks. The whole traverse changes from 35 to 40, with the weight limit increase from 19 to 23. So, getting the top pair of tracks for the better whole traverse, it is not a bad reason at all. Engines, you have two to use. The first engine here, 380 horsepower. You will be quite the mobile medium tank still, so you can use it throughout the entire grind if you want to, but my recommendation is research the top engine, as you will have a slightly better horsepower to ton ratio when you are using it, and it is transferable to the T25 as well. So that 70 horsepower does make a bit of a difference when it comes to the horsepower to ton ratio. Engines, radios I mean, you have three to use. The first one, the VZ37, you would have this unlocked already. The other two you do not have unlocked, so you will have to research them, the FU7 and the FU12. Research them as they are transferable to the next tank over, and the FU7 it is usable on the TVP VTU concept tank as well. It is up to you if you want to use the FU7 or the FU12. Just unlocking and using the FU7 radio, it is not a bad idea if you want to cut some of the research time down by a bit. But if you want to have a better radio to use on the tank here, unlock and use the FU12 as it is usable on the T24 and the T25. The turrets, you have two to use. The second one you will have to research anyways to get to the T25. The only difference between these two turrets is the upgraded turret. You have slightly better hit points, better view range, the turret traverse is better, and better gun handling stats for the A18 gun. The two guns that you have, they're pretty much the same. From the A13 to the A18, the rate of fire, the penetration value, the accuracy, and the aiming time, it is better. So, so, so get the required experience ASAP so you can use the A18 gun as it is the better one of the two. Now, I will be covering the consumables, the ammunition layout, the equipment, and how are you going to be playing the Skoda T24. Let's cover the consumables that you are going to be using. Consumables, I would go with a first aid kit and a repair kit. With the small first aid kit and repair kit, you can treat the crew member injuries that you will be taking and repair the necessary module damage in a hurry. With the manual fire extinguisher to put out those pesky engine fires that you may be receiving. With 50 rounds of ammo, that is more than enough for you to use in a match. So the only cases of you running out of ammo is far and few in between, except for the very long matches, which will require you to use all of your ammo up at times. The majority of the ammo you will be using, it is AP and APCR. Regular AP can penetrate most of the tanks easily enough when it comes to the front, side, and rear if you know where to aim the gun at. I would only use the APCR rounds against the heavily armored Tier 5, 6, and 7 tanks that you will be going up against. APCR will cost you just underneath 3,000 credits or 7 gold. It's always a good idea to have a few APCR rounds on you in a hurry if you need to use them. HE, it is not a bad ammo type to use when you are going up against semi-armored targets such as light tanks, artillery, or just use it to destroy debris in front of you. The equipment that you are going to be using, it is up to you how you want to play the Skoda T24. I went with a bit of a more aggressive light tank role, more of a aggressive front line medium tank role, so I went with the vents to improve the crew and the tank performance by a bit, the medium caliber tank gun rammer to decrease the load time, and the enhanced gunning drive to decrease the aiming time by a bit. The other pieces of equipment that you can use if you want to, coated optics or binocular telescope to increase your view range when it is being used. Coated optics give you a plus 10 permanent view range when it is equipped, compared to the plus 25 for the binocular telescope when it is equipped. I find the binocular telescope, it is best for a passive scout, or even playing the vehicle as a bit of a sniper when this is on. Besides that, the camouflage net, it is not a bad idea if you do not mind having a bit of a better camouflage rating at the cost of not being a pure medium tank when it comes to that role. So the camouflage net, when it is equipped, you can do quite well as a passive scout or as a bit of a sniper role if you have to at times. Besides that, everything else here, it is not that usable at all, as it doesn't improve the tank performance by that much. Except for the red ammo rack, which I don't find they are all that useful at times, as this vehicle can get ammo racked easily enough from the side. Now let's cover the roles that you are going to be playing the Skoda T24 in. For all purposes, the Skoda, it's a jack of all trades type of medium tank. You can play it as a frontline medium tank, as a support tank, as a flanking tank, as a sniping tank, or as a bit of a passive scout, or even as a active scout at times, based upon what is going on. So the Skoda T24, it is not good at one of these roles exactly, unless if you have the proper equipment and the crew with the perks to fill that role better than the others. I have a replay to show you how well you can do in the Skoda T24. Let's go to that replay now. This replay, I will show you how well you can do in the Skoda T24 when you're top tier. Let me speed the replay up a bit so I can get to the front line faster. Looking around, I see the team is going in the right direction, going where they have to, with me racing up towards the point here to secure it long enough to have some backup. I have the PZ2G, AVK, and people in the 5-6 line potentially as backup. I am using the corner here to protect myself. When something comes in my radar here, I'm going to be shooting at it. Here I'm using my rate of fire on the M4 here to dwindle it down to 0 hit points with the assistance of my team. One more shot and the M4 will be dead. The DW2 here, I am using the M4 chassis back there as cover if need be. Right now, there are more vehicles coming to this frontier, so I am being careful as I poke out. Potentially 3 vehicles shoot at me. The DW2, the Churchill, and the Medium 3. I fired blindly there, not knowing if the Churchill 3 was there or not. Fortunately, a ally killed it. When I am firing and loading, I fall back when need be, so I am not getting shot at. 3 kills so far, and I am doing quite well. 8-1. We are going to win this. For hit points, I am not that good at the moment. I am down to 150 hit points, so a one shot from the artillery pieces, if they fire HE at me, I would be dead. As a Skoda T24 armor, it is completely rubbish. Here I try to see if I can shoot at the M37. No, I cannot, as it is in cover there. Let's speed this up a bit so it can get the last 2 kills. Someone is going to get the artillery kill there, and the remaining artillery piece is in this part of the map here. This is where I try to finish the artillery piece off. Unfortunately, I did not get the last shot on the grill there. This replay I did quite well for being a top tier medium tank. For the 3 kills that I did, I accumulated about 1,450 damage, which is quite nice. Let's go to the next replay now. This replay, I will show you how well you can do in the Skoda T24 when you're playing towards its strengths and weaknesses when you have to switch in between roles in a hurry. This is a tier 5 match to show you how well you can do when you are switching in between roles in a hurry when you have to. I have a look at the map to see where I am going. I am heading to the JK line. I will be using the dune seal to cover myself. There are not that many vehicles going this way, so first thing first, I am going to be a bit of a passive scout at a medium front line tank and a bit of a sniper if I have to. First thing first, I see the T50. I should have had fully aim in onto the target there. I missed the 2 shots there. The T1 Heavy, the T50, they can only see the top part of the turret and the capla from where they are. I got a shot on the Stoke 3G there. So right now, I am using the dunes here while I shoot at these targets. The enemy PD-1C tried to ram me, but it died in the attempt. With the amazing aiming time of 2 seconds here, I can actually get some of these shots off on the move and hit them accurately enough most of the time. The T1 Heavy is getting pretty close to hitting me with using the correct tactics here, only showing the turret and aiming at the vehicle that come into the open here so that I can shoot at. I can effectively snipe them from where I am. The T1 Heavy, I am going to shoot at it while on the move. This is where I made a mistake in the match. I stood still. I should have had been on the move the entire time. The Stoke 3G, it's going to use a tie rate of fire gun on me to finish me off. This replay I did quite well, except for the mistake I made at the end. For switching in between those roles in a hurry, I did quite well for getting myself 2 kills. I did about 1,800 damage, which is pretty nice. That is roughly about 3.5 times, about 4 times the tank hit points, which is pretty nice, doing 4 times the tank hit points in damage. I did in the 1,800 damage doubt, 1,500 was from actual damage doubt, and the other 300 damage, it was from assist damage alone. Let's go to the garage now to do a brief recap on the Skoda T24 tank. Let's do a brief recap on the Skoda T24 tank. The tank itself, it is not that good nor bad, it is just average. As long as you play toward the vehicle's strengths weaknesses and use the appropriate tactics, you can do quite well in this tank. Remember, due to the thin armor and the low amount of hit points that you have, you can be killed easily enough. So, if you want to do quite well in this tank, play cautiously and use the appropriate tactics if you don't want to die in a hurry. The Skoda itself, it is one of those tanks that you will go through ASAP to get to the next vehicle. It is up to you if you want to keep this vehicle, as it is not that great nor bad at this tier, just like the other tier 5 medium, which are pretty good to use at this tier still. So it is up to you if you want to keep the vehicle or sell it. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the Skoda T24 and how to use it properly. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone!